Weather Impact Live on a July 5th. And boy, hopefully you've had a wonderful July 4th weekend. And you know what? We're not done yet. This holiday weekend just getting started. Let's take a look. All right. So, the big forecast, of course, was we're going to get all the fireworks in. I want to thank Katrina for ordering this up. Oh, my goodness. Beautiful. Okay. So I was anchoring, and see, Raleigh was our anchor this morning, and she was telling me how beautiful it was. This is the first look I've gotten at the beach's fireworks, and oh man, I love it. Okay, every year the big thing meteorologists do, we keep an eye to the sky for nature's fireworks and then the real show. And the great part is yesterday, it was just all about the real show and celebrating America's 250th birthday. Isn't that crazy? 250 years. Boy, we certainly made it, and just a lot of fun out there. You can see Friendship Fountain has never looked so beautiful. And there's the Main Street Bridge, the waterfall effect. Boy, just a great time. No complaints in the weather department. Many parts of the country had their fireworks shows that were postponed or canceled. But here at home, we got everything in just fine. And, there was concern, remember, just about a month or two ago of possibly having our fireworks shows here canceled due to the drought. But our weather team was optimistic. We said, hey, we're going to get enough rain in this forecast and more rain that at least we'll get our fireworks in. And we did. So it was a win-win. Hey, Katrina, thank you, buddy. That was amazing. That's the way you want to start a Weather Impact Live show. And, as we look at some of our Weather Watcher pictures, I could spend the whole show on how beautiful they are. But I want to thank Bob sending us another verification of the great weather we had for our fireworks. Now, today, we're going to transition. Okay, it was all about our fireworks last night. Now it's nature's turn with the fireworks. So I want everybody to keep their guard up this time of year. This is really the peak of our rainy season, and we've been in this drier time, this drier period as far as our weather goes, and you just have to realize that things can change in a hurry. So what we talked about on Good Morning Jacksonville, as I fire up some graphics here, I said, hey, we can go from sunny to stormy in an instant this time of year. This is the peak of our rainy season as we go into the next few weeks. And right now it's nice and quiet and like yesterday, but there's one difference. Okay, first of all, we're going to go from hot and calm to the stormy weather. And it's a little hotter outside, isn't it? Can you feel it? You can really feel it when you step outside. So really, the big heat ridge up north that caused all the problems, okay, with some of the cancellations and postponements of the fireworks, it's basically been squashed. It's been crushed. It's moving south. So we're getting a little bit of the taste of what happened in New York City, Philadelphia that hit a high of 103, Washington, D.C. setting records left and right. They hit 102 like 2 days in a row. Can you imagine? So the good news is this ridge is not as strong as it once was over the Northeast, but now we're getting a little bit of a taste. No, thank you, nature. I'd rather taste some of those leftover smash burgers, but we'll be ready. 89 degrees, dew point of 80. There's that feels like temperature of 106. Keep in mind the beaches, usually your dew points are the highest in the entire area. So this is as extreme as it gets. And a lot of times folks go to the beach to cool off, and it's just not going to be the case today. I said I would be under an umbrella and probably limit my beach time to this morning and maybe early afternoon, and then hit the air condition. All right, watch some soccer or football. All right, we take a look at the heat advisory. I showed you that feels like temperature of 106 at 11 a.m. So good thing the Weather Service, they're on top of it. National Weather Service Jacksonville heat advisory was issued officially. Well, it just kicked in 4 minutes ago, so good timing. Now, as far as the timing, it's why we're here First Coast News. I think really the hottest part of the day is from 11 a.m. to about 3 p.m. And then we'll have some cooling showers and storms and some relief from the heat. So I don't see an 8-hour window. But yes, the heat advisory is definitely warranted there. And we got 90 in Fernandina, 90 in St. Simons. These aren't even the feels like temperatures yet. You ready? All right, here, I'm going to take a little water before I reveal here. We've got the dew points I showed you in the 70s to near 80, and you combine that with the temperature, and there it is. We get 102 in St. Simons, 100 Fernandina, Keystone triple digits to McClenny, and back toward Lake City at 91. So This graphic's for Katrina. He did the great job getting us the view of the fireworks in case you missed it last night. Gosh, it was gorgeous. He said, what's that little guy kneeling on the left side of the screen? Well, that's the heat stroke symbol. We got to take this heat seriously. So easy to let your guard down. Two things folks get complacent about this time of year. Well, three: rip currents, heat, and what was the third? Okay, we know it's the rip currents, the heat, and those storms that can pop up in 20 minutes. All right, the big three. And we're going to make sure we're ready for all three today. So let's go over the heat. We got 94. All right, that's the high. That's forecast high. You know, originally when I was crunching the numbers in, I have a whole pad of numbers here. I had 92 when I got in around 4 a.m. Okay, and then I said, no, that heat ridge is coming a little closer to home, isn't it? Weather Service went a little higher than me. So really that 94 is an average. There'll be a couple spots that are warmer. We should be at 92. We're not going to get any warmer for our average highs. This is as warm as we get for the year. 92 is the normal. But again, the problem is the shade temperature. 106, you know, we're at 100. That's about right. We're going to rise another 4 or 5 degrees. It's going to be pretty much on target. And so we're drinking water, seeking shade, limit activity between 1 and 6 o'clock. Good. So we're on track, and we know to take breaks, not just breaks, but air conditioning breaks. Make sure everybody you know has air conditioning, including your pets. All right, we got that heat advisory officially kicking in right now. We got the storms between 2 and 6, so we still have another. We're just going to be sizzling. We're in nature. We're on nature's fire. We're on that frying pan, so to speak, for the next few hours before we get the storms. And then notice, this is interesting. We got the collisions happening right along the I-95 corridor and the beaches. So if you're out at the beach, you've been asking for some of the rain. Today's your day. So you got Sawgrass, Michelers, up to Ponte Vedra, Fernandina, Atlantic Beach, Neptune. Yeah, I see St. Simons and Jekyll Island as well, getting some of that rain. Low 90s. Boy, we need it. And then we need some of the rain to cool us down. And then some of the hotter spots away from the water, no surprises. 97 Waycross, 96 Folkestone. What's interesting, though, a lot of times this time of year, the inland areas get the heaviest rain, and then you get along I-95, and then you start heading east along JTB, and boy, you just don't have much, right? Today's the opposite. Your brunt of the rain and the focus for those bigger storms would be from I-95 to the east. And then farther west you go, more in the way of isolated storms. Okay, it's a little bit different every day, isn't it? That's why I love forecasting here. So here's today: west-southwest wind meeting that south-southeast wind. All right, I see it. You see the convergence. So notice, boy, that model is really going nuts. It's 90% now chance of rain at the beach. Okay, I didn't see that when I came in. So updated information showing even higher chances of rain. What did I go? 60. All right, come on, Prang. All right, 60, 90. Well, I got the forecast and the message across. I said be ready for storms anyway. I'm a stickler for detail. So we got 92 at 2 o'clock, and then we drop into the low to mid 80s. All right, hourly chances of rain. This is a little behind the scenes look. We usually don't show to the percent or the 1% on TV, but there it is. You can see 24% chance at 1 o'clock, 41, yep, 60, 61. Now this is officially for Jacksonville, so it's peaking. The model likes peaking around 61, so my 60 looks okay. All right, the beaches though, even the higher chance of rain at 90%, and then we slowly fall. This is important for our plans, right? Okay, so we've got cookouts going on this evening. Things will start to improve by 6 o'clock, and especially 7 o'clock tonight as that rain chance it drops to 10%. If you're fishing, oh my goodness, we've got the sailfish biting out there. Katrina, have you caught any sailfish by chance? No? Okay, I haven't either. He's asking for you and me. He said he's going to take us out on the boat, and we're going to do one of these Weather Impact Lives live. So you're going to be helping out with that producing that, right? You're all in? Okay. We're going to get on his boat soon. All right. So Riley Brown showing the sailfish there. And we've got sunshine, but I said there's going to be a collision happening in the atmosphere. There's the 2-foot seas right now. And here's the problem. It's going to turn choppy this afternoon. That wind's going to pick up. We said the big three: rip currents, heat, and thunderstorms this time of year. All right, so we're ready. South winds 10 to 20, and then here come the storms. I didn't light up the radar for you there, so I apologize. You see the clouds. Those are cumulonimbus clouds. So I kind of turned off the radar for yesterday because I wasn't thinking much rain, and we didn't turn the radar back on. But expect a line of showers and storms late day into the evening. I turned the radar on in this for you. Here we go. Futurecast. This is first time I'm looking at the new model data. Here we go. We got Gainesville to Lake City looking good, 1 o'clock. I said more of an isolated storm chance to the west. And Katrina, we'll get to break here shortly. I want to just see this real quick with the audience. And yeah, this is everything's spot on. I don't see a change. You know, your highest PWs, your highest moisture content in the atmosphere still telling me it's I-10, Nassau County, just a little bit north, Nassau County southward. I'm watching Jekyll and St. Simons, Kingsland. I still think they're going to get storms up. Yeah, if you're in southeast Georgia, you're still going to be in that storm zone this afternoon as well. So I still think between 2 and 6 o'clock, looking good across the area. Maybe a delay onset for southeast Georgia by an hour or two, but I think it's about similar timing up and down the eastern seaboard. And the temperatures will cool off tonight. I'm looking forward to that. Maybe I can get a run in. Okay, we're going to look at the 7-day here, and we're going to come back. We got so much stuff to cover here. Wow. Okay, so 7-day forecast. See, Robert was in last night. He did a good job. I think he left me a 97 note. He said, don't be surprised to see 97. So just keep that in mind. I agree, Robert. Yeah, okay, so I went 94s. We got 95, 96s. The one change, though, is the heat dome builds in, and then we'll see fewer storms. So really, for our plants and our lawns, the next couple of afternoons, very active to finish, mid to late day. And then the rest of the week, starting Tuesday, yeah, there's 95s, 96. Robert saw 97. I saw a couple models with 98. We're going to talk about that heat and a very hot week ahead coming up. I also have your grill out forecast, more on the feels like temperature, and then we'll finish with a bang with the tropical weather. So don't go away. We're just getting started. You are looking live at the St. Augustine Alligator Farm. And today, you know, folks are just kind of like those alligators. We feel like the alligators. We're just not moving much. We're just kind of a little lethargic. We just got through a wonderful July 5th holiday. But you know what? Something that will wake you up. Maybe get the kids out of the house. I say head to the alligator farm. And in fact, there's a lot of folks out there, Katrina. Secondly, we showed the sailfish are biting with those water temperatures in the mid to upper 80s. And there it is, Volado Beach boat ramp. And folks are ramping it up. Now, I like what I'm seeing, though, there, Katrina. It looks like some of the fishermen came in early. One boat just left there. So we said, if you're going to get that boating done before it turns a bit breezy this afternoon on the water, we get it done early. I don't have my Crab Island forecast, do I? I'd say if you're going to Crab Island, we need to get that trip done by 1 o'clock. We got to get to Crab Island here, and then we got to get home by about 2. I don't want folks stuck out there if it starts storming. So let's come on back. And there's one final look here at the tour, the Katrina Reyes tour to Jacksonville Beach. And Katrina, that water is beautiful. I mean, it's very warm, and that's the problem. Folks were complaining. They said they tried to go in the water yesterday to cool off, but it's like 87 degrees. But hey, at least you're not on the west coast of Florida. You ever try cooling off on Clearwater Beach? Now that water is bath water, so we're lucky to be here. Okay, let's take a look at our Weather Watcher pictures. I always like starting with you. This is actually a shared picture from my wife. Let's see what she got. The smash burgers we had yesterday were unbelievable. I guess Zach was the management control. Okay, and there's Bill's son. So happy early birthday to Bill Duke. And he made these burgers. He started with these little balls. He balled up the burger meat, and then they flattened it, and then they crushed the onion on top of it while they flattened it. Okay, I kind of stayed away. I had my drink there on the side, trying to stay cool in the shade. And thank you, Duke family, for making it a special holiday. I didn't even show you the desserts. Unbelievable. I was eating the whole day. I'm still digesting. So if you have grill out plans today, you ready? All right. I think Katrina's. Katrina, are you getting hungry again? Because I am. Let's see. Grillcast. I think I've digested enough. We've got some storms around at 4 o'clock. The best grill out time today would be as we head towards 6:30. I would say fire up the grill by 6:30, and we should be good to go. Notice the red spatula means order delivered. We're not ordering out. No ordering out tonight. We're using caution by 6 p.m. and firing up the grill by the time we head into just after 6 p.m. as that rain chance goes from 60% down to 10% by 8 p.m. So here it is, what we talk about in the summertime, the heat dome. Where's the next heat dome? It was up in D.C., the Midwest last week. Whose turn is it next? Drum roll, please. Oh, man. What? Yeah. It's building right over us here at home. My favorite weather. Not really. It's not my favorite weather. I'm just the messenger, but it does look like the heat dome, scorching heat this week will be the story. Feels like temperatures in the shade of 105 to 110. All right. I'm just the messenger. All right. We take a look at the feels like temperature back in the danger zone, 105 to 110. Weather Service got the heat advisory today. They're on top of it, and I don't see a reason why we wouldn't have heat advisories much of the week. Now, if there's one thing to watch for, those dew points that are so high today, there may be a little bit of dry air mixing in as we go into Wednesday, Thursday. So again, first look, you're saying, oh gosh, it may get hotter. It will get hotter temperature-wise. Feels like temperatures may steady off, maybe a little lower. Can we get that 106 down a little bit? Because actually every degree does matter. You're saying, well, what's the difference? 100, 105, 107. Really 108 is the critical point for the human body. That's when it really gets dangerous. So hopefully, we could get a little drier. We said the stormy time, the stormiest part of the week, well, it's today and tomorrow for the afternoon hours, and then drier weather. Maybe we can mix in some drier dew points like we saw last week. So we'll keep an eye on that. But either or, there's going to be heat advisories this week. All right, just trying to give you a little glimmer of hope. We take a look at the travel weather. This is important. Orlando, Tampa. Orlando will be just like us here in Jacksonville, ready for that afternoon round of rain. Savannah, Georgia, Atlanta. This is a big area of thunderstorms. So for travelers, be extra cautious. Charlotte will get in on some storms. Atlanta. If you're flying up to D.C., I checked on my daughter Lauren. She's had a great night, and she said it's still hot, but that 96 is much better than the 100-degree weather. New York City is cooled to 84 for the high, 80 in Boston, but there will be some delays with that cold front coming down across Jersey, Pennsylvania, Philly, D.C. area, so there could be some delays. If you have family heading back or family moving or coming in here, just beware. There will be likely some afternoon travel delays with that front. Here's the 10-day forecast. We're going to give a shout out to the 10-day before we come back with the tropical weather, but we look at the temperatures this week. We said it's only going to get hotter. We're trying to mix in drier dew points. Man, that's going to be a tough call. But you can see the big story as we dry out in a big way and some of the hottest weather of summer. I've got 96. That's a good average, but there will be some spots that will be hotter. Next week, I do think that high pressure in the heat dome will break down. So by the time we get into Sunday, July 12th, through the 14th, that'd be a time to watch for a stormier time for us, and we'll need it by then because we'll be dried out, hot. The grass will be crunchy. It'll be tough to walk on the grass with the bare feet. It'll hurt. So hopefully, we'll get some of that rain, but that wouldn't be until late next weekend into the following week. So coming up, we'll have your weather question of the day. I still think I can fit this in. And it has to do with Category 5 hurricanes, typhoons, or tropical cyclones, what the record is. And we're tracking a Category 5 or a super typhoon in the Pacific. We'll have an outlook on the Atlantic and then finish it up with a bow tie. I'll see you in just a minute.
Watch.
Well, great to be with you. Meteorologist Mike Prangley, July 5th, 2026. Our weather question of our Weather Impact Live of the day. This is something. What is the record for the most Category 5 tropical cyclones? A tropical cyclone, by the way, is just another name for a hurricane or typhoon. What's the record for the most Cat 5s worldwide in a single year? All right. You know what? This actually would be 12. I've updated the information so on our weather graphics. So pretty interesting there. 12 in 1 year. That was in an El Nino year, which was interestingly enough an El Nino year like this year. And what we're seeing around the country again is some issues with with the El Nino really heating us up here. And we'll keep an eye on that number of course, of tropical cyclones. But I bring that up because unfortunately we are tracking a big one out in the Pacific. You ready? Okay, let's get to it. We're good in the Atlantic Basin still. I'm going to just fast forward here because Katrina said let's get out on time today. We need like 2 of these shows, and it's calling up here. So we got something called Super Typhoon Bavi. Forgive me for my pronunciation, B-A-V-I. Anyway, this caught my attention today because it has 180 mile per hour winds, and the pressure is 919 millibars, moving west-northwest at 14. So this is unreal. This is taking like the same track that Super Typhoon Sinlaku took just a few weeks ago when it caused over $1 billion of damage. And, you know, Guam, Saipan, we're watching our friends there once again taking a hit from this. And right now it looks like the Philippines are okay. Okay, so for our big, wonderful Filipino community here in Jacksonville, your fam should be okay back home. We are watching Taiwan and maybe even Saipan. Looks like up toward areas of Taiwan, East China Sea, but it'll be weaker by the time it moves toward Taiwan. We take a look at the stats, just unreal. I mean, this is the third super typhoon, the third Category 5 already this year. I gave you that weather question. 12 is the record. I think we could get close to that this year with the El Nino. So just unreal. So this should stay north of Guam with the eye wall near Saipan. Unfortunately, yeah, watching that very carefully. In Okinawa, we'll have to watch it later in the week, right? And then we got the third category 5 in 2026. The record we know is 12. Calm in the Atlantic, that's the key, with more Saharan dust. And it looks like as the long-range maps and models go, if we see anything maybe a little more productive or interesting, that could come late July into August based on worldwide pressure trends. Let's just leave it at that. I like looking far ahead. So I have the first week of August circled. For my friends and family taking trips to Europe, or my friends and family that live in Europe, still concerned for my friends and family. They no air conditioning, and once again, their second heat wave in a row moving their way this summer. So by July 8th, by Wednesday of this week, sweltering. Just keep in mind in Europe, at 91, I would add 10, 15 degrees to all those numbers without AC. That takes a big toll, and we'll keep checking on our friends and family over there, but just keep in mind, make sure they have a cool spot, they're hydrating well, and we'll be thinking of them again. Paris near 100, 91 in London this week, and we showed you where the dome was this week over the United States, which was here right here at home. In Europe, that big heat dome's right over, once again, France and England, and look at Madrid sizzling at 103. 10-day forecast. Katrina, we're still in time. 10-day forecast here. Rocking and rolling, watching the scattered storms as we finish out our Sunday fun day. Be careful traveling. We'll do it again tomorrow afternoon. Heat advisories will be likely this week, low to mid-90s the next couple of days, and then even hotter weather by the middle of the week. So keep checking back with us.